Hey, last year we looked at something called the 5-number summary, and I don't know if you remember it, but the box and whisker plot uses a 5-number summary to show the spread of data. Let's just try and remember what 5-number summary is. The important bits of the data. These are the 5 numbers: the lowest score, the highest score, Q1, the median, and Q3. So lowest score, Q1 comes next. You know what it does? Isn't it dividing the data into quarters? Let's just look here. Here's my median. You tell me what this is. That box, that's the interquartile range. That's the middle 50%. This is the interquartile range. If I do Q3 minus Q1, this is the middle 50% of the scores. This here is the lower 25% of scores. This is the next 25%. This is the next 25%. This is the next 25% of scores. So a box and whisker plot breaks your data up into 4 lots of 25%. The lower 25%, there's Q1. The next 25%, there's the median. The next 25%, there's Q3. And the next 25%, there's your highest score. Okay? So the box contains the middle 50% of scores, with each whisker representing 25%. They're the whiskers. See? Whisker, whisker, box. When you look at a box and whisker plot, remember you've got 25% of the scores here, 25% there, 25% there, and 25% there. Do you think, now that means, let's say I had 100 pieces of data, 25 bits of data are here, 25 bits of the data are there, 25 bits of the data are more spread out there, and 25 bits of the data are there. If there were 100 scores, where do you think the data is more concentrated? At the beginning or at the end? It's at the beginning. I've got most of my scores. Look, half of my scores are between 140 and 155. Look at my scale from 140 to 200. Half of my scores are between 140 and 155. So that's where my big columns are. Do you get it? So do you see that? The data is there's lots of data in here, and there's even more there. Most of the data, a quarter of the data lies between 150 and 155. Can you see? Yeah. So half the data is between 150 and 155. If I knew the actual scores, I'd have really big columns here at the beginning, and then my columns would drop off if I was drawing a column graph. Do we get it? 25, half of my data is down here. Is this positively or negatively skewed? It's positively skewed. Start off on a positive note. Most of my data's in there. Okay, next one. The marks for a science test and maths test are presented in this box and whisker plot here. Which measure is the same? So, girls, don't even think about mean because you can't work it out. You tell me what this bit here is. What's this? That's the median. All right, let's have a look. So we can already see that the median for which one is higher. The medians are different, aren't they? Maths has got a higher median, can't be there. Isn't range, so look, median is out. The median for this is higher. Mean you can't work out from box and whisker plot. What about the range? Does maths have a bigger range than science? So that's out. But let's look at the interquartile range. I know we don't have numbers, but let's pretend each one of these is 1. 1, 2, 3 looks like the interquartile range for science, or 3 sections. And the interquartile range for maths is how many sections? That's 3 sections. Do you see? And that's 3 sections. 3 sections on the scale. You can get your ruler out and measure them. If you get your ruler out and measure them, you will find that that and that are the same length, which is equivalent to 3 sections. I know we don't know the data, but let's pretend this was 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. Pretend. What would be the interquartile range for maths? Can you see? 90 minus 60 is 30. What's the interquartile range for science? 80 minus 50 is 30. I can just make up numbers. I could have made it 20, 18, 16, 14, doesn't matter. but they're the same. Interquartile range is the same. Can you see it? You know why? The length of the box is the same. All right. Have a go at 2015. HSC question 6. The times in minutes that a large group of students spent on exercise per day are represented in this box and whisker plot. What percentage of students spend between 40 and 60 minutes? Well, you know that each section is what percent? 25%, 25%. What's your answer? That's it. The box and whisker plot breaks your data up into quarters. So it's 25%. Got it? You don't measure it and put it over the total. It's not like that. This one is almost symmetrical. Almost. This data's not skewed. You know, this whisker and this whisker are the same length. Those two are almost the same. Not, if the median was 65, it would be perfectly symmetrical. All right? Now, question 16. Let's have a look. Multiple choice as well. Just doing the multiple choice ones first. The box and whisker plots show the results of history and geography. History first, geography there. In history, 112 students completed the test. Now, if all of that's 112 students, isn't each section a quarter of the kids? Do you get it? What's a quarter of 112? Well, it's more than 25. I think it's 28. So that means that there are 28 kids here. 28 kids in there, 28 in there, and 28 kids there. That's what a box and whisker plot will help you. 25% of the data, 25%, 25%, 25%. So I'm going here, history, 25% of 112 is 28 students. Each section of that plot is 28 students for history. Okay, now it also says the number of students who achieved a score above 30 marks was the same for the history test and for the geography test. Now, I hope you can see this. This is the median here. That's Q3. That's Q1. Now, the number of students who scored above 30 marks was the same for the history test and the geography test. How many kids scored over 30 in history? All right, so history. 28 kids or students scored above 30. All right, but the same, what percentage of kids scored over 30 in geography? So geography. Guys, that's the median. Here's 30, 2 sections scored above 30. What percent's that? 50% of the geography students scored above 30. Half of them. But it says the number of students who scored above 30 was the same for the history test and the geography test. So that means that 50% is 28 kids. Do you get it? So there are less geography kids than history ones. The same number of students, the number of students who scored above 30 marks was the same for history and geography. So we know that history, 28 students scored above 30. Geography, 50% of the students scored above 30. But that is 28 students also. 28 students scored above 30. That's half the kids. So for geography, I don't have 28, 28, 28, 28. I have that this is all 28. The 2 sections is 28. What's one section then? If the 2 sections are 28. 14, 14, or why don't I just say the other 2 sections are also 28? Do you get it? So geography is 56 kids. Look, 28 history kids scored above 30. That means 28 geography kids also scored above 30. Got it? I don't. right? 28, so this is also 28. So 28 and 28 is 56. So 28 plus 28, we've got 56 students that did geography. But we've got two groups of people. They were surveyed about their weekly wages, and people under 21, this is their wages. People over 21 or 21 and older, this is their wages. Now, look at this $250 mark a week. What percentage of under 21-year-olds earn less than $250 a week? 25%, a quarter of them. What percentage of 21-year-olds earn more than $350 or between $350 and $450? Do you get it? What percentage of people 21 and older earn less than $325? Yeah, 25%. A quarter of the people, actually half the people, earn between $325 and $350. Can you see that? 2 boxes is 50%. All right, let's look at what it says. The same percentage of people in each group earned more than $325 each year. Let's have a look. No, it's not. Here's $325. What percentage here? 50%? What about this one? 3 sections, 75. That's wrong. Wrong because it's 50 and then 75. That's wrong. That's wrong. Approximately 75% of people under 21 earned less than $350 a week. People under 21, that must be 3 sections. That looks good. Let's look at C. Approximately 75% of people 21 years and older earned more than $350. What's the answer? It's not 75. What percent is it? You tell me. It's only 25%, so that's wrong. And look, we know B's right, but we're just looking at the others to learn something. And 50% of people in each group earn between $325 and $350. That is true for only the 21 years and older. What percentage is it for the under 21s between $325 and $350? It's only, no, only 25% for the under 21s. Okay, so that's true for the 21 years and older, but it's only, the figure is only 25% for the under 21s.